What is up? We are here and we are top tier. And we are playing the new Performage deck with Dennis. And I think, honestly, he has one of the most broken skills in the entire game. So let's talk about the deck. I'll go over it, and you're going to see very expensive text, but I don't want you to get afraid. There's one tech that you kind of have to play to make this deck really effective, I feel. To really make the deck effective. But once you get past that, the other techs are interchangeable. So the skill is called Performage Showtime. So this skill is one of the most broken skills I've ever read. Because it does three different effects. The fourth is irrelevant, it just locks you. So basically you can't special summon except special summons from the extra deck. Except for level 4 spellcasters and Performage monsters. So basically you can't special summon from the main deck except spellcasters and Performages. So it locks you there. But for the extra deck, you can summon whatever the heck you want. Let me go over the three busted effects. First, it's a consistency skill. You send a Performage. Like the Shiranui skill, it's just like the Shiranui skill. You discard a Shira to add a Shira. Well, this is like this. You discard a Performage to add a Performage. Now, what makes this absolutely crazy is Damage Juggler, and we're going to talk about it when I discuss what Damage Juggler does. Next, you have the third part of the skill, which I think is the most broken portion of the skill. The fourth part is really good too, but the third part is disgusting. And these are not once per duel. This is what makes this deck absolutely cracked. These are once per turn effects. So you can use these as many times as you want in a duel. So, shuffle one monster on your field into the deck, then play one Performage monster from your deck and face down defense. Its battle position can be changed. So basically, the second part of this skill allows you to summon any Performage monster out of the deck by sending a monster on your field. However, if you use Mind Control, you can take your opponent's monsters and do it. And with cards like Trick Clown and Damage Juggler, that plus when they go to the graveyard, it makes it very convenient to start plussing off of Mind Control, which is very, very broken. So you could, if they have their big boss monsters, their Requiem, their Ophion, their Winda, take it. It's yours. Even Blue Eyes, if you go second in the Blue Eyes and you say, okay, they got their successor soul, they want to snatch me, you snatch them first. Very disgusting. This is a very, very disgusting skill, part of the skill. And you can use all these effects in the same turn. 4, if you control a Performage Exceed monster, the attack of one monster on your field becomes equal to the attack of your monster your opponent controls plus 1,000 with the highest attack. This is very disgusting because that means that if you summon Trapeze Magician, any monster that you have on the field beside Trapeze is going to get, even itself, you can even boost itself if you wanted to, but any other monster you can boost up and then that other monster could swing twice. So if you make like a Malevolent Sim plus a Trapeze Magician, that's a 3,400 attack monster that can swing twice. And that gets very gross. Makes for easy OTKs and abilities to basically win the game at any point. And these are not once per duel effects. So this is probably one of the most broken skills I've ever read in my life. And that if we ever had more broken Exceeds or more broken Synchros, generically, this deck it's even better. But I definitely think this deck is top tier. We're going to go over the deck now. Okay, so first the free card at the gate. Well, I say it with a hyphen. Not a hyphen, quotes. Free, you have to grind for 3 of these, and it can be painful at points. But Performage Hat Trigger. So what this card does is there's 2 more monsters on the field you can special summon from your hand. During either play effect with a card or effect would inflict damage to you, you can make that damage 0 by putting a counter on this. When it has 3 counters, it becomes 3,300 attack and defense. Again, that's irrelevant. It does nothing. The second and third effect will never come up ever. Unless you have like a Trick Clown and you don't want to burn. That's very rare. Main thing you need to know, 2 or more monsters on the field, free special summon. This is your best extender in the deck. Now, next we run, I only have 2 on this account, but we have 2 Damage Juggler. This card is very, very strong, because for a multitude of reasons. First, you can float out into it with the second part of the skill. Like I said, if you mind card their monster, sack it, and then get a free Damage Juggler on the field, and I'll talk about what it does in a second. First of all, if you were to take battle damage or card effect damage, it's like Kite Roar, you discard it, you take no damage. And then you can banish it from your graveyard to add a Performage monster for your deck to your hand once per turn. This is absolutely insane, because meaning that if you get this thing in your graveyard, then you get to immediately add a Performage monster. So let me paint out a picture for you. Let's say you tribute your opponent's monster that you use with the skill. Then you summon this, then you exceed, then you use this effect, detach this, and then add a Performage. And then special like a hat trigger. So you basically made 2 extenders and exceed on the field for absolutely no cost at all, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. And gotten rid of your opponent's monster. Absolutely cracked. Next we run 3 Trick Clown. Now I do like 3 Trick Clown. You can play 2 and then 3 Damage Juggler. That also works. But 3 Trick Clown is also very good as well, because opening this can be very good. This is 1 card exceed with or 1 card Liliana alongside your Artemis. So basically, when Trick Clown hits the graveyard, you can pay 500 life. It was 1,000 at TCG. Special summon back a Performage monster from your graveyard. But the nice thing about this is, again, if you summon this off your opponent's whatever you steal, then you get this effect. Just float into another monster. Really disgusting. Now, next, you're probably going to ask me, Sean, do you need the Magistus engine? Now, my boy Icy Gamers got top 4 with this. Make sure you go check his channel out. Dueling Unlocked on YouTube. I will leave the link. And Icy Gamers 2 on Twitch. So if you have not seen his channel, make sure you go check that out. He got top 4 in Quantums with this without Magistus. However, I think for the deck to be really effective, you want the Magistus engine. First of all, Zora is really, really good, because this thing is essentially a monster reborn. Think about it. You discard with the skill for free, and then you just be able to summon this. So you summon and bring it back. This is basically Shiranui Spirit Master for Magistus. That's basically what this thing is. For the long story short. And it's a tuner. And also, you're going to equip Artemis to this, or whatever. If you need to negate your opponent's monster, like a Winda, you could equip Liliana to it. If you want to pop a back row and you want to play Ninaru, you can. But really, this thing revives, and then if you have an Artemis turn 1, you could search another Zora, and then have follow-up. Or extend with a Crowley if you really need to. But Zora does a lot for the deck, so I recommend you play 3 of it. If you have 2, play 2, it's okay. But I highly recommend you play 3. Next, we have Liliana the Magistus Severe. This card is crucial to the deck. You only need 1 of it. Basically, on summon the searches, if you already have Shaddoll and you're playing Magistus Shaddoll, then you probably already have this. And it's already really good. On summon the searches, your Magistus Invocation. That includes special summons, so if you summon this off for Leona, you could search it that way. And this allows you to make Iowas for a free steal, which is a really good turn 1 against Blue Eyes. I'm going to explain what you do turn 1 against every deck in the game. So that way you know what you're doing and you're not going in blind as bat. Next, we run Crowley. Basically, this sends a spellcaster from hand to grave, special summons itself. Not the most relevant, but also Liliana as and Crowley have 2 other effects. They can banish themselves from the graveyard to equip a Magistus, to their a Magistus monster. So late on in the game, if you run out of Magistus in the extra deck, you can banish a Liliana or Crowley to equip like your Artemis, your Liliana or Ninaru from the graveyard onto them and do their effects. Also, another thing about this is that Liliana has 1 other effect. If you don't want to search Magistus Invocation, you can return a banished spellcaster back from the graveyard to your banish zone to the graveyard. Now that's actually relevant here. It's never really been relevant in Shaddolls. I mean, if you really want to recycle back like a construct or something grave, you could. But the one thing that makes this really relevant is that you can use this to recycle back Damage Juggler. Because Damage Juggler is a spellcaster. So if you return this thing back to the graveyard, you can get another search. So if you reborn Liliana later on, or summon her later on, you can even put this back in the grave if you wanted to. Again, it doesn't come up that often, but it's something that you want to pay attention to if it does. Next, we play Droplet. Now, the one deck that I said is kind of mandatory to play is Minecon. This card is very broken. You want to play 3 of it. This card makes the deck what it is, I feel. I don't feel like the deck is as good as it is without Minecon, because this card makes the deck really pop off going second. Like, if you activate Minecon, you steal your opponent's monster, and then you just sack it for free and gain so much advantage. Alongside you adding their boss monster. It reminds me of the advantage you get when you play Tier Element, when you super poly their field and discard like a Kelbeck and then start milling for 5 and then clearing their field, like that kind of advantage. This card is cracked in the deck, and I don't know why you don't play 3. 2 MSTs, because we like MST because you can hit Samsara with it. It's also really good to hit Blue Eyes back row in the draw phase, like their ultimate fusion, because they can only use it in the main phase. Now, the extra deck, we run 1 Iowis, 1 Draco Berserker, 1 Trapeze. This card, basically, what it allows you to do is it does a few things. Quick effect can target another monster that can attack twice on the field. So this is really good with the skill because obviously you boost it up by 1,000. And then second effect, if this card dies in battle, then you can float into a Performage. Again, it has a weird first effect. You never take damage if the amount is less than this card's attack. So basically, if they swing over with a little monster over your little monster, you're not going to take damage. Again, doesn't really come up. This is an effect nobody's going to read. I'm going to tell you that. You're going to forget that effect. That's a forget-me effect. 1 Dweller, 1 Exciton, 1 Miliona, 1 Sin, and 1 Artemis. Alright, let's get it to a few replays. We're at a 90% win rate right now. So if you're wondering what our win rate's been, we've been at a 90% win rate. And tomorrow, we are finishing COG. So if you're on the YouTube side and you didn't get to watch today, make sure you are there. Or you're watching right now on Twitch, make sure you're there. We will be alive. Tomorrow, we will head back to our normal time. It's just I had 2 wars in the last couple of days. So I've had, you know, a little bit of things to get done. But tomorrow, we will be back to our normal scheduling. So 7 p.m. EST, 7:30. Make sure you're there. That way, we can get COG together. And I can teach you things that you want.
Duel.
Alright.
It's everything is. I activate ancient.
I'm just gonna fast forward through the Phantom Knight combo. Sure, you guys have seen this 1,000 times on the ladder already. It's basically nothing new. Okay, so we MST. I wasn't paying attention here. I wanted to hit the other back row, so right rank up, but, you know. Alright, so now we're gonna go damage. Special summon. Now we can make Exciton Knight. Now we didn't chain Wings here for some reason, but I don't know. We could have held. What I wanted to do is hit MST on the right back row anyway, which we would have known if I was paying attention to it, so. Like I said, doesn't really make much of a difference there.
I activate Torn Scales as effect. I activate Rank Up Magic Launch from my graveyard.
Alright, so now he goes Rank Up Magic Launch, equip, Break Sword Pop. We let that go. We still have, keep in mind, we still have a Trick Clown under here, so we can survive. Goes into another Break Sword. He starts to run out of resources here. Goes into Raider's Knight. Don't know why he makes Requiem here. He can't. Maybe he has nothing left. That's possible. So we go Trick Clown. He can't negate because he doesn't have Rebellion as material. We're going to search. We're going to make our Hat Tricker. Then we're going to make our Rilliona. Into Invocation. We could have also stolen as well. And then go into Iowis. And then this is basically another stat steal here. Steal him. We could sack off another monster on our field if we want to, but he's dead. Okay. Next. This is Galaxy Eyes, and you're going to see how we break this field. You're going to think that we can't break it, but you can.
If I pull off Duel.
Again, we're going to fast forward through this. Alright, uses Sanifod, now it's our turn. We're gonna MST, he ends up hitting a dead Cosmic. We're gonna send this to the grave. We're gonna damage Douglas, search another Hat Tricker. Now we're gonna threaten Exciton. Remember, we can stump damage Douglas with the skill and search immediately, which is really broken, because that's a +1. Now he books, doesn't matter, we're gonna wipe out everything but his Exceed. Now we can sack off our book monster as well for a skill. Now Zora activates, summon from the hand. Summon. activate, add another for follow-up with the Artemis, make a Draco. Now we can activate Magician's Invocation. We actually don't end up using for follow-up because I want to go into Iowa's Steel. And now it's his turn, and now he has to play through a Draco. Goes Advent, summons the Cloud. Now he summons Night, but we don't care because he has to reduce in order to summon, so we get rid of it. He goes Cloud, summons Active Photon. He gets his monster back. But we're surviving. We top deck the Minecom. We still have Follow from the grave, so if we top deck the level 4, we would have been fine. And now we Malevolent Sin, summon back for BM, and that's game. So we beat Galaxy Eyes through 3 back row plus 2 interruptions on the field. Okay, here's a replay against Blue Eyes. I think this is Blue Eyes. Or is this the one guy who was on Dark Magician? We'll see.
If I pull up, here comes a duel. Here, get ready.
Alright, skill, search the damage. Yeah, so I expected Blue Eyes, so what I want to do is against Blue Eyes, what you want to do turn 1 is generally end with a Trick Clown on the field, with your Rilliona, and with a Damage Juggler in hand, and then make Iowas. So that way you could survive a Neo Galaxy Eyes. I mean, a Neo Blue Eyes, and then make the push.
Come on out. I activate my monster's effect from my hand.
Just focus on surviving here. And we hold the MST because we don't want it to get blown up by Dragon Spirit. So he's playing Blue Eyes. He goes to get his Suck Soul. Activates Suck Soul. Sacks. Ulti fusions into Dragon Master Knight, which doesn't matter because he can't pop. Swings over. Now we get the free Trick Clown effect because he can't go Neo. And now we're ready to pop off. We end up top decking another MST. So we just blow up both of his back row. I wanted to do it there in the draw phase so he couldn't chain like an ultimate fusion, but he didn't have the material anyways. It was irrelevant. Now we'll equip from the graveyard to use the trigger the Zora effect, so that way we reborn. Now we make the Malevolent Sin. Malevolent Sin banish, activate Trick Clown, resummon itself from the grave. Then we'll special summon Hat Tricker for BM, make a Draco Berserker, and then we can activate Damage Juggler if we want to do more stuff. Actually, it's not BM. That's what I wanted to do. So what we do there is we go Malevolent Sin into Draco, and then we're going to special summon the Hat Tricker since 2 of our monsters on the field, make our Trapeze Magician, make Sin be able to attack twice, and then that's game through Kyroid. So if he has a random Kyroid, then that's lethal through Kyroid. Okay, so I got one more replay for you, and then we're going to call it there because I don't want to make this video too long, and I also have a war with my boy, Stephen Freshy, tonight, so I want to make sure I make that and eat dinner. Also, guys, if you have not followed my boy Stephen, he is another awesome content creator, top 100 global player, one of my best friends, so make sure you go follow him on Twitch. He is an absolute GOAT content creator. Amazing, so go follow him, please.
You're gonna love this. I'll build it. I activate my mod. I activate.
And also go follow, if you want to see Alter Guys content out of the box, then go follow my boy Crimson Reaper 5. I will also leave his channel in the description below. So against Gimmick Pop, we're just going to make Dweller into our fusion. Now keep in mind, you can also fuse with Invocation from the Spell and Trap Zone. So like I said, Steven, my best boy, my best brother, best friend, follow him, follow Crimson, and then follow Icy. And Lucio as well. Oh no! Now I steal there because I want to play around Ding. I didn't realize he opened up 3 Magnet Dolls, but I didn't want him to ding off my Iowa, so then I don't get to steal. Actually, I probably could have stole anyway. This Ding would have went to the grave. Now that I think about it. No, when the never mind. Ignore what I said. Okay, so now we summon a Trick Clown. Crackdowns. I don't know why he cracked down there, but he did. Throwing the Draco. Special, but we're not once per two, so we can sack him off anyway, even if he doesn't crack down there. So we're still in there. Now we're still going off. Going to trapeze.
Here's rank. From my hand, I act like these magician uses.
And then he scoops. And we could have sacked off his thing there. So that's the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give me a like, subscribe, and comment. Tomorrow I'm going to teach you all the plays of how to play this deck when we go to COG. So if you want to make sure you know all this and you want to learn this deck, make sure you are here, 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night. Be there or be square. Bye, YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.